kwa kwa pa na hala te yepo mai tamam e ta ki au ba ta sinom chual te oi pa na hala te yepo tam mumi ta thi ta na wo ti mata ke mata ke. Good morning. My name is Leroy Simlitua, chairman of the Hopi tribe. I reside here in a village of Munkapi. Here in this village we have two villages but are considered one group of people, Upper and Lower Munkapi.
We're here at Mokopi to host the 8th Annual Cultural Tourism Workshop Conference. And we brought this in this area because of the location, because it's so isolated here. They're kind of a remote area. And we want to help promote tourism in this area. And hopefully that they'll be able to develop some kind of a program where they can attract more tourism industry in this area. And hopefully they can assist the communities so they can develop their own programs, and also those artists that are here, the arts and crafts people, so they have an avenue to market and to promote their works.
I've seen this cultural tourism conference before for many years, but it was always held in Santa Fe, and it was difficult for us to get there. And I was really grateful that Munkapi was able to bring the conference here, which was great for us as Hopi people because it helped. It was closer to home. With the calendar that we live with, it's ceremony time, and it was very difficult for us to leave. But since it was in our backyard, we were able to attend the conference because as a small business owner, they have to use their own dollars from their own pocket to travel to take advantage of these opportunities. So for them to be able to come here created that venue for them to see and take advantage of what was offered.
Tourism in itself is a fiercely competitive global industry because we don't just compete with sort of our usual suspects, the Californias, the Floridas, the Texas of the world. When we're out there looking for that destination visitor, we're also competing internationally with Peru and Paris and London and China and Italy. A new competition for these extremely valuable tourism dollars, they come at us every day. And because of that, it is always critical for our state to make sure that we remain competitive against those other vacation destinations.
Arizona has always looked to the Indian tribes here, the 22 tribes, to talk about culture. Not only do we have the culture, but we have to look at the landscapes. What we have here, you'd be surprised how many times we hear especially international visitors say, I really want to speak to a native person. I want to know what their experience is. I want to taste their food. I want to see what they see and be a part of that. And so it's a great way here at the Legacy Inn to include all of those things.
What is the symbol of it? It's a stone, the turquoise. So turquoise.
Hopi has always been a culture of hospitality, sharing culture, stories, even values with the different cultures we've come across over the years. One of our friends who is a local tour guide has a really nice gimmick on his business card saying that he was serving as a cultural tour guide since 1540 AD because the Hopi community was one of the first that helped to bring the Spanish, the Europeans, first Europeans to this country to view the Grand Canyon. They were the tour guides that took them in that area. And part of that has sort of sustained over the years in sharing that culture with different groups that come to Hopi.
That's what makes a place interesting, are the people and what they've done while living in these areas, and what kind of effect have they had. This is what you go away from having visited a place with, is the idea of what kind of people did I meet there and what did they share with me? Were they willing to listen to what I had to say? And did they want to say things to me that I thought were important? That's, I think, the epitome of cultural tourism, is the sharing of ideas, of ways of thinking.
I think it's terrific that the Legacy Inn has hosted this event. This is, to me, this facility creates a whole new possibility for the future of Hopi. People are intrigued with Hopi. They're intrigued with this whole area. They want to come to the Grand Canyon, but what they want is an authentic experience. But they want to be comfortable while they're at it. And so this facility here, the Legacy Inn, is absolutely perfect because it combines modern facilities and amenities with something that's so real, with the people that work here, the services that are provided, the quality of the rooms, the art, the history. It's like being in a museum here, and so it's terrific.
What we did today at the Legacy is to do a little fundraising, do a project with some of the artists for the tourism event. So we had about like 7 artists do this painting here behind me. And I started this morning. I just brought a canvas that was prepared, somewhat prime. And I started this morning with asking my sister to come up with a design, an idea, and she started. And my job most of the day was just to fill and add and see where things go. And then all the artists sort of took turns, and then we finished this afternoon about 4 o'clock. And the piece will benefit a scholarship program that we have for K to 12th grade students. And we've been doing that for 12 years now.
I think the opportunity to stimulate tourism and bring tourism to this little small community, what we call Tuba City and Moenkopi, is very important. It's so removed, and sometimes people have a tendency of forgetting where that location is. And so to bring the opportunity here and to showcase what the Moenkopi business owners have to offer here is absolutely phenomenal. I think a wonderful opportunity for a tourism draw nationally and internationally.
And one of the main reasons that we decided to do cultural tourism is the fact that within the states, throughout the country, tourism is one of the biggest industries. And in our areas like Arizona, New Mexico, and other places, where there's a large population of Native Americans, they use the culture, the traditions, and the Indian people to attract tourism to their area. But unfortunately, many times, our communities, the tribal communities, don't really benefit from any of this. So we decided to implement a program, and this is what we're having, in cultural tourism. So hopefully, from this, whatever we present, and whatever the expertise present to us, that we can utilize to advance ourselves, so we can at least benefit something from it.
When you look at the Hopi people, they are very traditional, and so for them to have envisioned a hotel like this is really quite creative and progressive. They're looking towards the future. You know, what can they build for their native people? We know that the tourists want to come and buy. They want to experience what is here. So it's really forward thinking. And it brings a lot of new dollars into the economy. We're looking for new money to come in from outside the country, from outside the state, and from outside the region. You know, that helps the economy grow, and it benefits the people, the individual communities.
My experience here at Moenkopi Legacy Inn has been really good. With the conference, but with the Moenkopi Legacy Inn alone, I mean, I think you guys really have a good product, and there's, you know, talking from Northern Arizona, Native Arizona, we don't have enough supply for the demand that we have. And, you know, it's great. I mean, we partner well together when we're out selling, and I'm with your other sales managers out of town, out of state. You know, we're talking, we're representing Native Arizona together, and I think that's what I really like. It's that bond. I mean, when we go outside Tuba City and outside Moenkopi, you know, it's not about Navajo Hopi, it's about Native Arizona, and that's what we really promote.
Experience Hopi is a phrase that we use to promote the experience that people can have here. And it's both old and it's new at the same time, because we promote an experience that is our history, our culture. But the hotel itself is an embodiment of a new direction that Monkapee Developers Corporation has taken. We're finally here. And the neat thing about that is that this isn't anything new from a modern standpoint. What we do has been done everywhere else, is being done everywhere else. But on Hopi, with no significant economic development in the last 50 plus years, we're starting to get into that on top of 50 years, you know, this is where it's at. And this Monkapee Developers Corporation, in creating the hotel, the Tubi Travel Center, the Denny's restaurant, and continuing to develop, is paving the way for an economic future that's entwined with our culture, that is behind Experience Hopi. So it's both. It's the new and the old, the history and where we're going. And I think that's something that is very unique that you don't find anywhere else.
The challenge of introducing tourism to a community that has a really strong value, still retains its strong value in land stewardship and stewardship of its resources. What I see the need in that conversation is some collaboration, some coming together and sharing of those ideas and valuing what the community has to offer, because the community are those individuals and those neighborhoods, those clanships, those villages that carry that responsibility of stewardship forward. And where we're missing is that voice in that decision-making process.
The governing body is the key to approving industry development. If we are not supporting it, it will not happen. So those of you that are our Hopi people, those of you Navajo and other tribes, push your leaders to develop. Because we have to learn to balance. If we can't do that, then we will not move forward as Native people in this country. And I will say again, gaming is not the only industry in town. Eventually, that will disappear. But what is going to sustain us 40, 50 years down the road? So I encourage all of you, for the next 2 days, take what you get on our case as leaders, and say, guys, listen to us. We know what we're talking about. For me as one individual, I truly support what Monkapee is doing. Why? Because they were not afraid to take that step. Did they have opposition? Oh yeah. Did people criticize them? Oh yeah, they did. But once the building was built and we walked in here, opposition disappeared. Let's not just talk about it, let's make things happen. I want to thank all those who sponsored this. I saw the people listening in the back. Thank you for stepping up to put forth this conference.
It's me and Hubert. My boss.
Little ceremony here.
May the force be with you. Come on.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you to the conference. Thank you to Legacy Inn, and especially thank you to Mr. Bahi for the beautiful painting that he did in one day, which I couldn't believe he did. But that's great. Thank you so much.